Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are checking out this channel for the very first time, definitely want to consider subscribing. In this video, I want to give you guys 4 things that you guys need to do if you want to grow taller faster. If you're a teenager or you're a young adult, you definitely want to do these 4 things to maximize your genetic potential and reach your desired heights. I'm going to leave links to clinical studies in the description box down below, so that way you guys can fact check everything that I'm telling you in this video. And really quickly, I just want to give a shout out to all my subscribers who participated in my last contest. I'm going to announce the winner at the end of this video, so stick with me. Alright guys, so I'm going to try to be as concise as possible, so let's dive deep into this video. I've made several videos where I talk about some things that you guys can do to grow taller. A lot of you guys have commented that yeah, it actually works. I showed you guys some stretching. People have commented that they've actually grew a couple of inches. And I've also seen comments where people are like, oh no, this is all BS, he's lying, there's nothing you can do to increase your height, it's all about genetics. Well, those guys are actually wrong. There are 2 things that contributes to how tall you are. One, of course, genetics plays a major factor, but the second factor is your environment. For instance, are you in a high altitude environment or are you in a low altitude environment? Those things can play a factor. What you put into your body and what you do to your body can also play a factor into how tall you are, because these environmental factors can actually activate or deactivate certain parts of your DNA, which will determine how tall you are, and I'm going to break it down in this video. So number 1, the first thing that you guys can do to make sure that you're growing to your full potential is to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Now, this 8 to 10 hours of sleep needs to be consistent sleep, like a steady, consistent 8 to 10 hours. And the reason is because when you sleep at nights, there are a lot of things happening in your body. One thing that's happening that's very important for your growth is that growth hormones are being released. As a young adult, it's very important to try to make sure that you are getting this 8 to 10 hours of sleep. I know oftentimes, you have school schedule, you have parents waking you up at 6 a.m. so you can go to class. Make sure that you guys go to bed early. Try to get that 8 to 10 hours of sleep, because that's going to release the maximum amount of growth hormones to help you guys grow taller. Another thing is that you also want to make sure that you're avoiding activities that would inhibit your sleep, right? So are you drinking too much coffee? Are you taking caffeine, maybe in sugary drinks? Some sugary drinks tend to have caffeine in them. Try to avoid these things if you know that they're going to impact your sleep cycle. Another thing that you need to try to avoid is taking naps in the afternoon, because when you take short naps, these short naps are not going to allow you to get a full, deep 8 to 10 hours of sleep at night. Because in reality, those naps are not long enough to allow growth hormones to get released into your body. You need that full, deep sleep of 8 to 10 hours. The second thing you need to keep in mind to increase your height is to stay away from alcohol, stay away from drugs, and don't smoke. Not even secondhand smoking. If you're around people that smoke, kindly excuse yourself, because even that secondhand smoking has been shown to impact and stunt your growth. Essentially, growing taller is all about stimulating your growth hormones, which will allow you to grow and reach that desired height. The next thing that you guys need to do to try to grow taller is to try to play sports that allow for vertical leap, running, and stretching. I've made a video on this channel where I showed you guys some stretches that you guys can do to grow taller. So if you haven't seen that video, definitely watch that after watching this one to learn some tips and tricks on how you guys can add a couple of inches to your height. There are some sports that are really good for young adults, especially if you're still in high school and still growing. Volleyball is one of them, basketball, swimming, tennis is another good one. The reason is because this is all about your environmental factors that I talked about earlier. These environmental factors of running, jumping, leaping, the vertical leap, all of this is telling your body like, hey, we need to be longer, we need to be taller, we need to grow and be able to reach higher. And all of that sort of like activates and turns on certain parts of your DNA, which will allow you to grow taller. You definitely want to try to stay away from any sport that compresses your body or causes you to hunch over or anything like that, or to pound and beat down on your joints. For instance, gymnastics. So for instance, when you look at the body type of your typical gymnast, they tend to be shorter because they've been training for a very long time, most likely since they were kids, and the environmental factors has sort of stunted their growth. Because when you think about it, as a gymnast, one thing that's very important is your center of gravity. So it's best if you are shorter, you have a lower center of gravity because you have better balance. And then it also helps if you have a very strong core, because that would allow you to do a lot of the activities that you do in the gym as a gymnast, right? Finally, the fourth thing that you need to do is to make sure you eat a healthy and balanced diet. A lot of young adults tend to eat junk food. There's junk food everywhere, there's fried food everywhere, there's processed foods, but these foods don't give you the nutritional value as the same as eating whole foods, right? So you want to make sure you're eating really healthy whole foods, eat your grains, eat your vegetables, carbs and proteins, and have a balanced diet of this, right? It's important to eat for nutrition and not for taste. When you eat foods like pizza and burger, all of this is heavily processed and you're not getting that nutritional value that will help stimulate your growth. So the reason a balanced diet is so important is, one, your estrogen levels. You want to keep your estrogen levels normal, especially if you're a guy. Guys need a lower estrogen level than females, because females actually need that estrogen for their development. Estrogen actually slows down the production of HGH in your body. So this is why guys tend to be taller than women, because guys have less estrogen in their bodies and women have more because they need it for their development. Try to avoid soy and, again, junk food, because soy and junk food tends to raise your estrogen level, especially for men. So you want to watch out for this. Another thing that you want is high levels of growth hormones, especially as a young adult, because this is going to allow you to grow. And of course, eating the right diets, eating healthy would help regulate this. Finally, you want to have an optimal thyroid level. The reason is because it allows your body to convert those growth hormones into IGF, which will then make you taller. I highly recommend you guys speak to an endocrinologist if you're concerned about your thyroid levels or your hormones in general, because they would be able to prescribe treatments or give you some advice on how to regulate your hormones. So the problem is that it's very hard these days to get the maximum nutrition from food because everything is either fried or processed to some degree. You have vegetables that are frozen, you have foods that are overheated or overcooked, and with all of this, you're losing some of those nutrients in the foods, right? So unless you're eating organic, raw, vegan, super healthy, you're almost not gonna get the full maximum nutrition that you can from foods, right? And of course, we slack off here and there. We have a burger, we have pizza or whatever. So you almost need to supplement those nutritions into your diets by taking some multivitamins, if you will. So I'm gonna leave links in the description box down below to some of the best multivitamins that you guys can take on a daily basis, so that way you don't have to overthink about what you're eating. You can still eat your balanced diet regularly, but just supplement with some multivitamins to make sure that you guys are getting the maximum nutrition. When it comes to multivitamins, some of the things that you're looking for are calcium, magnesium, zinc, vitamin B complex, vitamin C, and vitamin D. But what you can do instead of buying all of these vitamins is just to take a single multivitamin pill that has all of those supplements within them. And now I'm going to announce the winner of the giveaway from my previous video. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your handle on Instagram, so I'm just going to flash it on the screen. You are the winner of the giveaway. Really love your photo. This pose is awesome. You're killing it in this picture. Hit me up on Instagram so we can schedule your photo shoots and your modeling consultation. So because there were so many entries and you guys are really crushing it on IG, I love all the posts. I want to give 2 additional winners a chance to have a free model consultation with me. And those 2 winners are @b.riddles and Amani Lake. So again, message me on Instagram and let's schedule a one-on-one 40-minute consultation. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. So definitely check out some of my other videos on how to grow taller. If you guys have questions, drop them in the comment box down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys are watching for the first time. I'll see you guys in my next one.